points per game. He leads the starting five for Purdue. The seniors lead the way for Villanova with Phil Booth seeking his 14th straight win in the tourney, along with the fifth-year senior Eric Paschal for the Villanova Wildcats, who have won now 7 straight in the NCAA tournament.
Carter, let me correct that. Of course, Carson Edwards is not the Big Ten Player of the Year. Cassius Winston is at Michigan State. But he's still one of the more effective scorers in the country.
The Big Ten scoring champ. And now here's Edwards at the top. Ryan Klein off a cold shooting night on Thursday. Matt Painter told us he's ready for a lot of makes. And Edwards starts off with a miss, boarded by Jermaine Samuels, who has been clutch in Villanova's late season run. Gillespie attacks, got in deep on Harms, cut off by Edwards. Whip it back, Samuels. Second chance, Bay kept it alive, but then lost it. So Purdue gets it back. Bay fighting on the defensive end. Purdue with an opening round win over Old Dominion, 61-48. They held Indiana to 46 earlier this year. A more dominant performance against Old Dominion.
And this is a switching man-to-man defense out of Villanova. And there's the problem for Villanova is a terrific job by Matt Harms, the 7'3" sophomore at the rim.
13 points in the opening round win over Old Dominion. Villanova beats St. Mary's 61-57.
And that play illustrates why I think the Villanova three-point shooting can neutralize some of that at the inside for Purdue.
So the threes for Villanova versus the twos for Purdue. Turnaround, there's Paschal. He had a bit of a cold start. The fifth-year senior from Dobbs Ferry, New York, 1 year at Fordham. Who had been terrific in the NCAA tournament. Klein, through contact, cut off on the baseline, finds Harms. Harms on the offensive glass. There's Harms inside, the big concern.
Terrific job of staying after it. And you mentioned Ryan Klein, 1 for 11. He still has the ability, 1 for 11 outside the three-point line in the last game, still has the ability to make some plays. And this is a very fundamentally sound Villanova team with incredible athleticism 1 through 5. They play with an empty low block, and this is what they get off their penetration. Terrific job by Colin Gillespie, the 6'3" sophomore, to knock down the first triple for Villanova.
Purdue is more than capable from outside as well. 10 threes a game. That led the Big Ten. With Nova Nation behind him here in Hartford, Edwards hits his first. Carson Edwards. First triple for Purdue.
He is a volume shooter for Purdue. 19 field goal attempts a game. There's not a shot that he can't make, and there's not a shot he doesn't like.
Paschal back it in. Draws 2. Gillespie again. Boarded by Eifert for Purdue. Edwards, eyes up. He's going to take it and drill it. Back-to-back triples for number 3 from Texas to Purdue, Carson Edwards.
So if you're Matt Painter, the head coach for Purdue, you got to love the start for your team. You're getting points at the rim. You're getting Carson Edwards to get going early.
Takes it at Harms, so Harms defending on the perimeter.
Purdue high hands on the catch.
Gillespie, how about the confidence from Colin Gillespie?
Well, he knows that if he works to get open, and he's ready on the catch.
4 early for Harms, and now Edwards from the logo. Heat check, kept alive by Samuels. Loose ball won by Purdue. Klein feels it and fires.
Well, if anybody needed a triple to go in early, it was Ryan Klein, the senior, who's waited his turn. 3 years coming off the bench and getting limited minutes. That's his 99th made triple of the season.
Pascal off the bounce. At the elbow. Rebounded by Nogel Eastern. Missed the Thursday start. Injured in warm-ups, came back and played 10 minutes in the second half. Into Eastern. Attacking in tight. Physical. Another second chance for Purdue. And another three for Carson Edwards on the offensive glass. Edwards makes it an 8-point early lead for the Boilermakers.
It is going to be a fist fight on the block for Villanova defensively to keep up with the size advantage of Purdue in those switches.
At the rim, there's a runner for Samuels, took it right at Harms.
And that's what makes Villanova so good, is the three-point shooting around the arc with the empty block, and the lane opens up.
Edwards tries it again and drills it. Red hot for Carson Edwards. Purdue by 9. 4 made threes already. 114 made threes on the year for Carson Edwards. Not just a scoring start, but an efficient start for Carson Edwards. And then Pascal throws it away. Turnover by Villanova. Not even 6 minutes in. Carson Edwards, 12 points on the board. Carson came out ready to fire. Introducing delicious orange vanilla Coke. Drink it with basketball. Let's check in with John Schrippen.
Well, Carter, you mentioned it earlier. Having Nogel Eastern back in the starting lineup for Purdue is certainly a welcome sight. That's because he was supposed to start against Old Dominion, but just moments before tip-off, he hurt his ankle in the warm-up lines. He was in the layup line and appeared he slipped on something and turned his ankle. He missed the entire first half. He did get to play in that second half, and when we spoke to head coach Matt Painter in practice yesterday, he said it was really helpful to get him back in the game, the second half of that game, because mentally, now he knows he can play on that ankle. Guys?
It looked pretty good, too, as we watched practice yesterday. Williams misses at the rim out of the timeout. Villanova finds itself in a 9-point hole early because of Edwards. 12 of the last 15 for Purdue. Gillespie misses from 3. There's Edwards with a rebound. Eyes up. Running the Boilermakers. Klein pulls the trigger. Williams, offensive board, went up against Gillespie and got it. Another second chance. Klein takes it again. 2 misses for Ryan Klein on this trip. Phil Booth passed on the 3. Good look. Opposite for Bay.
Nobody going to the offensive boards for Villanova. You mentioned Purdue makes 10 threes a game. That's the number that Villanova makes, but they're on the average, so they're going to have to make more than that tonight, I believe.
Williams in tight on Bay. Williams gets it again. Rejected by Bay. 5 offensive rebounds already for Purdue, creating plenty of opportunities for Carson Edwards.
23 points a game, led the Big Ten this season, and he loves to shoot the triple. Off the offensive rebound on this one, he's got 4 early in the game. Somebody's arm might be falling off into an ice bucket later.
That sounds like a bad thing, but when Debbie says it, it means it's meant as a good thing,
it's
right?
It's a good thing, absolutely. You shoot till your arm falls off.
I don't think Carson has a problem shooting until the arm falls off. It's just, you just hope there are more makes. I mean, 23 shots on Thursday.
He averages taking 19 field goal attempts a game. So 19 field goals with 23 points.
And here's the big number early for Carson. 0 turnovers, and now there's one as Gillespie picks it off, runs to the rim, and Edwards compounds it with a foul. And there's the plus and the minus. Carson Edwards game.
Now this is a terrific job by Colin Gillespie to shoot the gap. He knows the ball reversal's coming. He also knows the contact's coming.
First personal foul, first on the team.
Good sportsmanship by Carson Edwards. That's the way you play. You knock them down, you pick them back up.
Gillespie, tough young man. That little tumble doesn't even count for Colin as he gets the first. Watch every game live on your phone, tablet, computer, and favorite streaming device with March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Carson Edwards averages 3 turnovers a game, and this one turns into 2 for Villanova. Gillespie has 8 of the 12 for the Cats. Eric Hunter Jr., the freshman who played terrific, filling in the starting 5 when Eastern couldn't go in the first half on Thursday. 9 to shoot. Wheeler buries it in the corner. Aaron Wheeler from Stamford, Connecticut, right down the road from Hartford.
Plays about 14 minutes a game, and his length is a factor on both ends of the floor.
An early double-digit lead for Purdue.
Booth yet to take a shot.
And now he puts it up.
That was a contested 3. I'm not sure that's a good shot for Villanova. Got to get a ball reversal.
Gillespie in time again, looking to create for Pascal. They traveled in the corner. Villanova gets it back. A sluggish start for the defending champs. The Big Ten has fared very well in the 2019 tournament, including the 3-seed Purdue on to the second round, trying to make it 3 straight trips to the Sweet 16 for the Boilermakers. The first time since the end of the 80s under Gene Cady. So, Debbie, what has Purdue done well and Villanova not done so well to result in a 10-point game?
I think Purdue has done many things well. First of all, they shot the 3 extremely well, making 6 so far. They've missed 9 shots, but they've offensive rebounded 6 of them. And the 8 baskets that they've made, 5 are assisted. Now Villanova, I think they've got to do a better job of moving the ball offensively, continuing to get a piece of that paint, and then kicking to the 3-point line.
Hunter kicks to Stefanovic right off the bench, and Sasha Stefanovic has another 3 for the Boilermakers.
You see if they can reverse the ball on this possession and try to get an uncontested look.
7 threes early for Purdue. Booth turns it over into the hands of Wheeler. Purdue on the run. Wheeler gives it right back. Cosby Roundtree has a steal.
Got to make a better decision than that.
Gillespie stepping in. Confident early Colin Gillespie. This one rolls out.
So coming off the last timeout, when Jay Wright is excellent in the ATO situation after timeout, and the last time they brought Harms away from the bucket with that sprint screen to the middle of the floor, that can help open up the lanes if they continue to bring Harms away from the bucket, which Jay Wright told us it was something he wanted to try to do tonight.
Harms on the offensive end, passes to Wheeler. That's an offensive foul. Phil Booth draws the charge. Who delivered the Buick expectation-shattering performance of the day? Tune in to Inside March Madness presented by Buick and find out. Carson Edwards is off to a tremendous start. He would be a nominee. He came into the gym yesterday singing "I Will Always Love You," the Dolly Parton Penn Classic about Porter Wagner, and I think it's played out early. He's bringing that pep into the game tonight.
I would say free spirit is how I would describe it.
Booth in tight, shot fake, Wheeler blocked it, Booth gets it back.
And that's a staple of the Villanova offense. Drive, on balance, jump stop, pivot, ball fake. You got to stay home.
Samuels, big 3 for Villanova. He has been huge as part of the run after a mid-February slump, when the Wildcats rallied late to win the Big East regular season and tournament in New York. Deflection from Pascal. Purdue keeps it.
Watch Stefanovic. A little bit on penetration dig, and that leaves enough room for Samuels.
I Eifert into the game, Eifert in the stands. Grady in the game, Tyler the tight end for the Bengals. Moved him on. Dad George played on Gene Katie's first Purdue teams in the early 80s. Eifert whips for Harms.
Great pass. Terrific find by Eifert. And I'm telling you right now, Carson Edwards, he sprints through every offensive action. And that opens up his teammates just by moving without the ball the way he does. A great find at the rim.
Booth off the screen, takes it over Edwards and spins it in. Villanova built for coming back with all the threes, but the senior leadership too. So experienced. First bucket of the game for Booth.
It's really hard to over-penetrate with Harms in there. Look at the big guy go to work on the interior.
Keeping it alive, another offensive rebound, another chance for Edwards. This time Harms goes over the back and draws the foul.
Edwards gets a great look off the offensive rebound. It's a kick out, and there you see Harms with the foul. That was a foul.
And Purdue doesn't convert on this second chance opportunity, but 7 offensive rebounds already for the Boilermakers. They average 12 a game.
Getting Booth off the top of the floor into a step-up screen action on the wing, and he steps out of bounds. Good D.
4 early turnovers by Villanova. You rarely see Phil Booth, the fifth-year senior, rattled. I mean, he has 128 wins as a Cat, 13 straight in the tournament because of the medical red shirt in 16-17. He wasn't out there for the loss against Wisconsin. One of the 3 games he played that year was early in the season against Purdue. Loose ball, up for grabs. Still up for grabs. Edwards finally out to the logo. Booth ties him up. An all-out fight for the loose ball. Possession arrow will give it to Villanova.
Back-to-back deflections in that possession for Villanova, and that allows them to get a little momentum. You set your defense off the first deflection. This one, you're going to actually get the tie-up and get the possession arrow. I wonder if Tyler Eifert saw Grady dive on the floor for that loose ball like that, trying to recover the fumble.
Ball is out. Sadiq Bey. Into Pascal's hands. On Eifert. And one with a foul called. The fifth-year senior trying to get it started for Villanova after the cold start. Eric Paschal.
Paschal going to the line on the elbow.
Seven offensive rebounds for Purdue and 7 made threes.
Well, Purdue has definitely been able to score on the inside, and that has set up their ability to knock down triples. Carson Edwards, he's got 4 triples in the first half. 7 total by 4 different players for Matt Painter.
So more offensive rebounds than Villanova has total rebounds. How about this moment as Ja Morant exits the building here in Hartford? His impact made on March Madness. The Murray State season comes to an end.
28 points, 7 boards, 4 assists for Ja Morant tonight.
But Florida State moves on to Anaheim in the Sweet 16.
They were so good. They put 90 on the board tonight with great balance.
Eastern takes it to Paschal. Lost it. Klein bails him out. Back into the hands of Edwards. Carson Edwards. Step back on Sadiq Bey. How tough is that one?
The degree of difficulty. Contested 3. Can elevate.
You're stepping back on 6-8 with the shot clock winding down. Remember we said Villanova 3s versus Purdue 2s. Well, Villanova needs some 3s of its own. Booth forces another one.
You know, Booth dribbles out the possession there. He needs to pass the ball.
Eastern lost it. Diving on the floor, Pascal. Purdue gets it back.
You know, Phil Booth is a terrific player. He's the leader on the top of the floor for them, but they are better when they move the ball. Reverse sides of the floor. Penetrate. Pump fake. Pitch. And then hit a three.
Yeah, with Villanova's penchant for threes, they have the capability to erase a double-digit deficit in a hurry. Especially if Edwards cools off. Edwards pass Bay this time. The tap. That's a blocking foul on Booth. Trying to slide in and take the charge instead of blocking foul called.
I mean, it's classic, right, Carter? I mean, you set up the ability to go off the bounce by knocking down threes, and he's such a tough competitor to the rim. He knows the contact's coming. He doesn't care. He doesn't even mind it. First trip to the free throw line for Carson Edwards.
And Purdue rattles that one home. 16 now. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com.
More single-digit games in the first round of the women's tournament than there's ever been. There's no clear dominant team. It should be really exciting all the way through April for the women's tournament as well as the men's tournament.
And you will be there along for the ride all the way to April.
It's an exciting time, Carter. It's a great time to be a fan of college basketball, isn't it?
Indeed. And our producer, Steve McKee, director Jim Cornell, out of our very talented crew of women and men here in Hartford, Connecticut. Edwards has the board off the Pascal miss. Klein pulls up. Long rebound, tap out. Gillespie has it. Colin Gillespie leading the Cats. Pascal trailing. Eifert has the board. Big rebound for Purdue. Villanova only 3 for 11 from 3 early. Hunter stops and back into the hands of Klein.
Pascal on Edwards.
Klein in tight. Gillespie digs down. Arms fighting for another offensive rebound. Got a foul on the floor. Arms' size on the offensive glass. Huge.
I thought he was shooting when he got called for the foul right there. Looks like the official thought he was getting the foul on the rebound. So therefore, basket under the ball under the basket.
The foul was on Gillespie, his second, so he heads to the bench with 5:34. He's been attacking from the opening tip for Villanova, but takes a break. Arms wants it on Pascal. Instead inside, Wheeler left it too high, out of bounds off the hands of Klein.
Wheeler's made a couple of mistakes here. He turned the ball over a few times. He charged. His decision making just a little bit late.
3 turnovers by Wheeler, so that's not a good line. Pulls up over Harms, rattles it in to try and get the Cats going.
That's a tough shot because that's over the outstretched hands of Matt Harms, the best shot blocker in the Big Ten.
Wheeler gives it up, Klein takes it and makes it. An amazing shooting start for Purdue. 9 threes early. Matt Painter said, Ryan Klein has a lot of makes coming. The Boilermakers have a lot of makes early. Samuels can't answer Wheeler. Big rebound. Bay gets in there and ties it up. It will be Purdue basketball.
You know, I love that set by Jay Wright's team, though, because you get the step-up screen and you snake behind it, and then you draw the help and you pitch to the corner. You get a wide-open 3.
One of the amazing numbers. There's a lot of them for Jay Wright. won 72% of his NCAA tournament games at Villanova in 15 appearances. That is remarkable, including the 2 national titles.
2 of the last 3.
Edwards picks up the dribble. Klein, 7 to shoot. Klein's going to take it again. Samuels goes up to get the board against Harms. Booth backing down, creating for Pascal. Cosby Roundtree. Another foul. This one is on Harms. So Villanova trying to fight on the boards with sizable Purdue, but the Boilermakers by 13.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Push button, get mortgage. Wendy's, the official hamburger of the NCAA. And by the uncompromising Cadillac SUVs.
This season, NCAA coaches and Infinity are taking a timeout to fight cancer with Infinity's $1 million donation to the American Cancer Society. This is an Infinity timeout for the win. Learn more at infinitytimeout.com. Carson Edwards has already added his name to an incredible list of Boilermakers. Multiple games of 25 plus in the tournament, including Joe Barry Carroll, who led Purdue. That's a 5 count. Yes, it is. Out of the timeout. 5 count turnover.
Wow. What a terrific job by Matt Painter's team. And a little bit of disappointment by Jay Wright's team, who's so good in those situations. That just tells you how good Purdue's defense is right now.
5 turnovers, 8 made buckets, only 3 threes versus 9 threes early for Purdue. Harms on the good feed from Aaron Wheeler.
They are really doing a good job of moving the basketball, well aware and well prepared for the switching man-to-man by Villanova.
A 10-2 run, largest lead for Purdue.
Matt Painter took several minutes in practice yesterday working on Purdue's ability to defend the penetration to the paint.
Booth misses a 3. Cosby Roundtree offensive board. Second chance for the Cats. Cosby Roundtree banging on Harms, blocked it. The Big Ten's leading shot blocker has another. That's out of bounds. Cosby Roundtree touched it off the end line.
This is when you have to consider, I might not want to take on the top shot blocker in the Big Ten. Harms doing a great job.
It is old Purdue early. Can the Cats make a run before the break?
This is Adam Zucker back in New York with a tournament update. Gonzaga under a minute away from their 5th straight Sweet 16. Brandon Clark is 15 of 18 from the floor. 35 points, tied for the most ever in a tournament game by a Gonzaga player. Now looking for revenge on Florida State. Carter Debenjohn.
Well, Adam, they're going to take on a very talented Florida State team. The winner of that game, Gonzaga or Baylor. Harms. Debbie, you went through all of the blocks.
On Synergy, I watched every one of them, and this is what he does. 52% into transition, which really ignites their transition game. And the ones that he puts in the 5th row allow Purdue to set their defense.
Harms handles it on the perimeter here on the offensive end. Back into the hands of Edwards. 5 to shoot, Edwards. That one too tall. Another stick back, another offensive board. Eastern has this one, and Purdue continues its dominance on the offensive glass.
Purdue has 9 threes and 5 twos in the game.
10 offensive rebounds leading to 10 second chance points. Villanova has made just one of its last 8 shots. Boone turns it over into the hands of Eifert. It is all Boilermakers through the first 18. And now Harms lines up the 3. Finally a defensive rebound for Villanova from Samuels.
Harms has made 7 this year.
Booth, Cosby Roundtree. Quick bounce, turns it over. Right back into the hands of Purdue. Klein to Eastern. Back to Eastern. Finds Hall, slipping unopposed to the rim.
Really good decision by Eastern not to force it. But Purdue's got it all working right now. On both ends, back-to-back turnovers by Villanova have allowed Purdue to build their largest lead of the game on a 14-2 run.
Villanova looking for a push in the final minute. Cosby Roundtree in tight on arms, kick out, Pascal 2 to shoot. Pascal has to heave it, and finally in that drought of over 4 minutes without points for the defending champs.
What an athletic move inside by Eric Pascal. First team all Big East.
Eifert back to Klein. And now Holmes left alone again. Villanova's chasing the action and leaving the Harms undefended at the rim. Eastern D'ing up Booth at the end of the half. Rejects the screen, Phil Booth. On Eastern. And that is how the first half is gone for Villanova. The Cats look rattled.
With .5 on the clock, I'm not even sure Phil Booth had any recognition of time and score.
Purdue dominates Villanova. Coming up on AT&T at the half, we'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, highlights, and updates. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. The champs of the Big Ten up big against the champs of the Big East. John Shriven with Matt Painter.
Just when it looked like Villanova was poised to make a run there, you closed the half on a 16-4 run. Yeah. How did your guys respond there?
Our guys did a good job of moving the basketball. You know, they switch a lot of things, so you got to try to go to the second and the third action, try to get some slips, make sure they honor the rim. You know, make sure your dives are right to the rim. If they don't, you're going to get some easy ones like we got right there. If they do honor those things, then you have more space to play with the ball.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Second largest deficit at the half this season for Villanova. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Want more NCAA tournament info? Hey Siri, show me March Madness scores.
Villanova fans don't want to see this score. 43-24 Purdue on the Wildcats. Debbie Antonelli, Carter Blackburn. Before we talk about what Villanova didn't do right, let's talk about what Purdue did do right in the first half.
How about everything? I mean, they shared the ball. They got to the offensive glass. They turned Villanova over. They got Carson Edwards going early. He did a terrific job scoring outside the arc. 9 triples for Purdue in the first half. Carson Edwards had 5 of them, and on the other side, Phil Booth just cannot get it going. 4 points, 4 turnovers, and Purdue's defense turned Villanova over the last 3 possessions of the half. It's a 19-point deficit that Villanova will try to overcome, and in order to do that, Carter, they've got to do a better job of communicating their switches on defense, and they've got to find a way to get Purdue out of rhythm offensively.
Infinity first half stats show you it is all rhythm for Purdue, so John Shriven went to Jay Wright to figure it out.
That's right. I spoke to head coach Jay Wright. He told me in order to get back into this game, we're going to have to grind it out possession by possession. He said Purdue is too good of a team to try to full court press them. He said really it starts on the defensive end. We've got to do a better job of locating Carson Edwards. They're doing too good of a job of taking advantage of our switches. So if we locate Edwards, get up on him, we can start getting some stops and get back in this game.
And look at that incredible note. Largest halftime deficit for a defending champ in NCAA tournament history.
I agree with Coach Wright. If you open up the floor, Carson Edwards is untrappable, unflappable. And there's enough balance around him And when he wants to, he can find shooters. Let's see what Purdue looks like here in the first 5 minutes. I mean, can they shut down Villanova?
Booth on the catch from Gillespie. Samuels lost the handle, gets it back on Harms. That's kickball. Shot clock will go to 20.
And Purdue has done a terrific job of being long and active. And when you have a shot blocker like Matt Harms on the back of your defense, it allows you to take a few risks on the defensive end. Just being up the line and overplaying a little bit.
Into Pascal. Eifert got a deflection. Kick out. Samuels 3.
See, that's a risk right there because you gamble on trying to get the steal and then Villanova moves the ball, but they don't make the shot. So that's the kind of risk reward that you're talking about when you're Purdue. That's the kind of gambles that I'm talking about them taking.
Tipped away. Samuels gets a steal. Sending Villanova on the break. Gillespie, who played through foul trouble in the first half. Booth steps into it. Harms has another defensive rebound. Harms has been the biggest issue for Villanova, both ends. Edwards has been the biggest issue for Villanova. Edwards starts off hot again.
If John says Jay Wright wants to locate Carson Edwards, that is a huge mistake by the Villanova defense. And with Eastern at the point, he can see right over the top of anyone defending him.
Pascal rises on Edwards. Offensive rebound for Bay. Eifert D's him up.
Watch Carson Edwards. Yo, over here. I'm wide open. There's no one anywhere near him. Carson Edwards. 6 triples. The Big Ten's leading scorer.
He's yet to take a 2 in the game. 6 for 10, all from 3. And then Booth gets tangled up. Now that is a mismatch in the post with Booth and Harms, and Booth commits the foul.
Well, this is the way Villanova plays, right? They switch on all screening action, and they front the post, and they rely on backside help. But at 7-3, Harms is a lot to deal with.
Edwards finally misses. Gillespie has the board. Foul was on Booth, his second. Bill Booth crossing over on Klein. Mid-range because Harms is there to bother it at the rim, and then he clears it off the glass.
Villanova has 3 assists in the game. They're a team that averages nearly 60% of their baskets assisted.
And then Edwards hangs a foul on Bay. Introducing delicious orange vanilla Coke. Drink it with basketball.
Jay Wright substituting for just a little more size on the interior.
2 Villanova defenders there with Edwards. He gets past them both and throws it in reverse. That's the first 2, and it's in spectacular fashion for the junior of Atascocita, Texas.
Incredible acceleration with or without the ball. He moves well without the basketball, too. I don't know if he gets enough credit for that.
24 in the game for Villanova, 22 for Edwards. He almost out-rebounded Harms. It was knocked out of bounds by Villanova.
Low man wins. He beats 3 players in blue to the rim.
And on Thursday, took to 23 shots to get 26 points in the win over Old Dominion. Here it's 22 points on just 11 shots. Clark has another 3 for Purdue.
Carson Edwards, untrappable, unflappable. Makes a terrific read out of the double team.
11 threes in the game. Another 10-0 run for Purdue. Booth, shot fake, and then Eastern recovers. Offensive foul is called on Booth. Banging with Eastern. 3rd on Phil Booth. Jay Wright having an extended discussion. Robert Riley. Lee Casello called the foul. Edwards rolls home another one. Made threes in the game now for Purdue. Primo passes over to Gillespie. Nothing doing at all for Villanova. Edwards again. Klein, offensive rebound. Eastern in time, on move. It's all too easy for the Boilermakers. 56 on the board, forcing another Villanova timeout. And now AT&T takes us above the rim for one of the best plays of the game.
Watch Matt Harms working that screen and roll action right down the lane line. To the rim. He's got 6 buckets, 4 dunks for the 7'3" sophomore for Purdue.
Edwards remarkable as well. He scored 25. Villanova has scored 24. And here in the second half, 13-0 Purdue has outscored Villanova. It's stunning to see 24 on the board for Villanova now well into the second half.
But what's impressive is a 19-point first half lead, and they stretch it to 32. So they are letting Villanova know right away, not tonight.
And the team who shared the Big Ten regular season title with Michigan State, Purdue's record-setting 24th Big Ten regular season title, representing the Big Ten, who's having a monster 2019 NCAA tournament thus far. Bay steps into it. Cosby Roundtree offensive board. Kick out, Booth. Line right there with them, contesting 2 more misses for Villanova.
I mean, they run a good set off the timeout. They get a great shot on the pitch back or the throwback. Offensive rebound and still can't score.
Back into the hands of Edwards after the weave, and now Eifert out of the horn set. Arms takes a tumble and a foul called, third on Colin Gillespie. Villanova hasn't scored in the second half, and they trail big. A terrific first half for Purdue, somehow even better in the second half.
Well, Carson Edwards through the double team. Untrappable, flappable, Carter to the rim. You got to locate him early in transition. He's got range. Eastern at the rim doing a nice job getting inside, and that switching man-to-man defense has been something that Purdue has been able to take advantage of.
Overall, 15 straight. It's 13-0 here in the second half. Carson Edwards has taken your advice, Debbie. He is shooting until his arm falls off.
Sometimes you just got to shoot till your arm falls off, Carter. Right into the ice bucket.
4 to shoot here. Harms dumps it off. Eastern down low. 2 to shoot. Gets it off. Pascal has the board. Villanova still seeking its first points of the second half. Pascal. Another tough one because of Harms' presence.
A contested shot where Jay Wright's teams have always gotten uncontested. I think they're playing off the bounce instead of off the pass.
Klein nails it. 16-0 in the second half. His dad Michael, who's the stick at Crooked Stick, 9-time club champion. Pascal, that's a blocking foul on Harms. Getting tangled up.
Good call. And this would be a way for Villanova to get on the board here as they get to the free throw line.
One would think, and with all the winning that the seniors have done, you don't even want to look at the scoreboard right now.
No, and I think that's a really good point. You don't look at the scoreboard, you play. So, as Jay Wright told John at the half, you got to grind it out. You got to get some stops and move the ball.
Even when you finally get 2 up there for Villanova, missed the chance of the three-point play. Purdue seeking its 5th Sweet 16 under Matt Painter. And 3rd straight. And the Hawks, how do they keep leaving him alone?
Miscommunication, not talking for a team that prides itself on being connected defensively. It's a lot of size at the rim.
And Villanova does communicate on the court, off the court very well, but not tonight. Samuels hits a 3 to get him to 29, but a long way away from the Boilermaker.
You know Coach Wright doesn't want to really extend his defense because of this. Carson in the open floor. But you got to try something to try to speed the game up so you can get enough possessions, and you hit back-to-back triples ought to help give you a little momentum.
A Nova Nation here in Hartford trying to get behind the Wildcats. Couple of threes. Press break for Purdue.
And if it doesn't result in a turnover with your full court pressure, maybe you can take Purdue a little deeper into the shot clock and not have them cycle through their options so well.
Edwards gets to the rim again, and a foul will give him a chance at 3 more. It's now 27 in the game for Carson Edwards.
And this is just a terrific job. The acceleration, the move without the ball, the switch, and he attacks the rim.
Now, Carson Edwards wasn't happy with the performance on Thursday against Old Dominion, but he's playing through a banged-up back and playing well through the banged-up back. For more on Carson, here's John Schriffen.
You know, to think his sophomore year in high school, Carson Edwards actually wanted to quit playing basketball. That's because he was dropped from the varsity team down to the JV team. But his mom, Carla, who's in the stands tonight, told me she would not let him quit because if he quit basketball, she felt like he would quit on other things in life. She made him give up football and focus on basketball. And here he is tonight having a big game. His parents in the stands, Carla and Jade, certainly are proud.
Understandably so. That's a good note from Mom. Don't give up on hoops, and now they're getting to watch Carson show off in the NCAA tournament.
Don't give up.
Way to go, Mom. Cheering on Eifert as he comes back to the bench. Haskell takes it and drills it. The threes are starting to fall for Villanova, but very late for them to start dropping. This is Hunter.
And Sadiq Bey took that box out of harm's all the way to almost the Purdue bench.
Primo off the shot fake, lost it, and got a foul on the floor. So Villanova finally has the offense rolling, but it is Purdue who's truly rolling through Hartford.
Now back to Carter, Deb, and John.
Thank you very much, Adam. Here in Hartford, it was Purdue by 19 at the break, and they have outscored Villanova by 10 in the second half, behind 28 points from Carson Edwards. That's just indicative, although Villanova's going to get it back, but you have him coming out of timeout, you get a good look, and it doesn't go down again for the Cats.
I really like Auburn, Carter. I like Bruce Pearl's team. Bryce Brown and Jared Harper in the backcourt. Chumu, Okeke is one of the better players that's probably going to burst out on the scene this year in the NCAA tournament.
Bursting out right now. Auburn with a double-digit lead early on Kansas as Pascal goes to the free throw line. Well, Purdue's happy about this score. So are the Florida Gators from 06-07 because Villanova is trying to go back-to-back in 3 out of 4. And that is certainly looking in serious doubt right now with 11:26 to go in the second.
I think Purdue has everything to do with it.
Watch Masters live for exclusive video of Amen Corner 15 and 16 and featured groups. Watch live on the CBS Sports app, cbssports.com, and masters.com.
Purdue's been balanced. They've been very good defensively. They've made shots. Villanova's going to pick up full court man-to-man. Look at the trap. Yep, this is why you don't want to open up the court.
Foul, and that's going to send Travion Williams as Samuels gets his first, but Purdue breaks the press in a hurry.
I mean, right down the middle of the floor. Williams had a chance to give that up. I think that was Wheeler that was behind him.
Williams misses the first. Travion, the freshman from Chicago, who started the first half of Big Ten play, and then off the bench following the loss at Maryland when he got 4 fouls in 10 minutes versus Bruno Fernando. But that for the Boilermakers, then they rattled off 5 straight wins, 6 out of 7. The Minnesota team that lost beat the Boilermakers twice, once in Minneapolis, once in the Big Ten tournament. The Boilermakers bounce back with that grinding win over Old Dominion, 61-48. And now Matt Painter, who says we run more plays than the Dolphins, as in the Miami Dolphins.
Tell you what, he's got a lot of options, and it's fun to coach when you've got that many players that can make a play. And you've got a player like Carson Edwards.
He misses. Boarded by Hunter as Purdue continues to make it tough at the rim, which was the biggest concern for Jay Wright. He knew what they were going up against, especially at the rim. And it's not just Matt Harms, it's the way that the Boilermakers make it tough for him. Ooh, Williams takes a tough tumble. Fouls on Gillespie, his 4th.
Well, I think Purdue has done an excellent job of making themselves available at the rim with all their action and by design with all those plays that Matt Painter has.
One of only 6 schools who's gone to the Sweet 16 the last 2 years. They did it as a 4 seed in 2017. Caleb Swanigan leading the way, then as a 2 seed 2018. Into that injury to Isaac Haas against Cal State Fullerton. They're trying to make it 3 straight trips to the Sweet 16. And who knows beyond that for Purdue, as Pascal misses again. The last Final Four in 1980. As a 6 seed in 1980. There's a 3 from Sadiq Bey in the corner, giving Villanova a little lift.
Yeah, that's the way Villanova plays. They move the ball, they make the extra pass, they find an open shooter. And the main basket allows them to extend their D a little bit.
I mean, how amazing is it to see Purdue's largest lead is 35, and that 3 for Villanova cuts it down to 24. This is just stunning.
It's impressive by Purdue.
Hunter lets it fly, air ball, shot clock violation. There will be a new king in the East. Bleacher Report's original animated series, Game of Zones, returns for Season 6 on Thursday, April 11th. Watch in on the BR app. It's going to be a new king of the NCAA tournament, barring a miraculous comeback in the last 9 minutes and 48 seconds as Villanova has Won 2 of the last 3 national titles. Pascal and tight. I mean, Pascal and Booth had so much to do, especially last year, but you lose Dante DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and Omari Spellman, and Villanova's trying to make a push right here, but it was remarkable that Villanova rallied to win another Big East regular season and Big East tournament to take the momentum. They beat St. Mary's. So it's been a remarkable run. That's an offensive foul on Edwards. Pascal takes the charge and cleared the Wildcats playing with a lot of pride at this point.
No, and to finish your point about Jay Wright, Coach of the Year, a terrific job, a tremendous job with all that you just listed that they lost. Yet they've won the Big East Conference Tournament title and 2 of the last 3 NCAA championships. So it's about matchups when you get to this point. And the size of Matt Harms, the size of the point, and no-gel Eastern, it's a lot to deal with a switching man-to-man defense as Harms gets another one. And here's that transition game.
Edwards, a runner, can't finish, but draws another foul.
Hey, guys.
Or is that right down there?
Right.
Nice sportsmanship by Phil Booth, because this one was tough off the block.
And that's what makes Matt Harms such a good shot blocker. 52% of the shots he blocks into Purdue's transition game. And then see Phil Booth helping up our camera guys.
Way to go, Phil. We appreciate it. We appreciate the effort. And Carson Edwards has given it all. Good thing he didn't quit on basketball. Phil Booth's not quitting either. Now for Edwards. Perfect from the line, 5 for 5. This would be Purdue's first win over Villanova as well. And that November 2016, West Lafayette, it was a 13-point win. 3 rattles out. That was in the Gavitt tip-off game. Named for Dave Gavitt, his son Dan, now the senior vice president of basketball for the NCAA, a former Rick Barnes assistant coach at Providence. But in that Gavitt game win, it was Jalen Brunson, free throws late to win it and take Villanova to 3-0 all-time against Purdue. Booth to Pascal. Fifth-year seniors who have done so much for Villanova. Still playing hard at this point, but Edwards crosses midcourt, under 8, timeout coming, and it's all Boilermakers. Good look. Eifert fouled by Jermaine Samuels. Sending us to an official timeout. The Boilermaker fans are feeling sweet again. And on the Sweet 16, 7:43 to go. We had a very good chat with Matt Painter yesterday about really everything from great baseball players from Evansville to his time as a player at Purdue. He talked about going out as a player at Purdue. They went and played in the Wooden Classic in Southern California. John Wooden there, and John Wooden to Matt Painter as he was a player for Purdue. John Wooden said, "It is my pleasure to meet you, Matt." And Matt said, "Coach, how do you know who I am?" And Coach Wooden told him, "We're both guards for Purdue." All those years later, John Wooden still feeling the heartfelt attachment and keeping an eye on Purdue basketball. And years later, Matt Painter got to go visit Coach Wooden at his apartment in Westwood and said it's still one of the biggest thrills of his life to just sit with John Wooden. So
a proud basketball tradition.
That's still proud. And
Carter, your basketball book, one of the things that you use for preparation has a wonderful picture of John Wooden on the front of it in his Purdue uniform. I love it.
Pascal missed the 3. There's Eastern. And so Purdue walks it up the floor. Edwards with 30. He's got the intense look in his eyes, looking for a third straight Sweet 16. And now Edwards drills it again. That is 8 made threes in the game and 33 on the board for Carson Edwards. Haskell off the shot fake. Booth shot fakes again, and there's a foul on Eifert. It is on the floor. Yeah, Debbie, you pointed it out because this is...
Yeah, I love it.
This travels with me everywhere, not only March, and it begins with John Wooden. And look at the intense look in Coach Wooden's eyes. Remember what Matt said, what his nickname was during the Purdue days? The Freak.
The Freak, that's right, because he's so athletic. I love that he's got a handle right there in that picture. You can see the basketball, just so you know, it wasn't him playing defense. He did have the ball in his hands in that picture, Carter. I love it.
We got to visit with Coach Wooden about the 1975 Final 4 years ago, and truly one of my highlights of my time is he said the 75 Final Four was his last, and he said, I made a decision that I was going to give up teaching. That's what he called it. Not coaching, but give up teaching.
I had a chance to talk to him once about why he chose to go to the women's Final Four over the men's Final Four, which he did in the latter years. He loved the play below the rim, the way he used to play.
5:30 to go here. Well in hand, you would think, for Purdue, although it's March and you never ever know. Booth, boy, that's why you never ever know, because there's Booth on Harms and he hits a tough 2. But now with Carson Edwards, 33 in the game, coming up on 5 minutes. How much longer do you expect Edwards to stay in the game for Purdue?
I think he's got a couple more buckets in him, and then that's it.
And then the arm falls off.
Yeah, they might run something for him, and then he's going to head over there to a nice bucket. Stick that arm in it. He's been terrific. Fun to watch here in Hartford.
His 8 threes ties a career high. We have the top 3 scorers in the tournament here in Hartford with Morant for Murray State, Marcus Howard for Marquette, and Carson Edwards for Purdue, and they have all delivered with buckets, and Edwards efficiently here. He's looking over to the Purdue bench wondering the same thing we are. How much more? Football continues with AAF. Watch the Alliance of American Football on TNT and stream on BR Live all season long.
No question this is disappointing for Jay Wright, but you know, I'm watching him over there on the sideline. He's still teaching. He's still coaching. You know, just it's an opportunity to teach your guys to get them ready. You know, you hate to say for next year, but I'm sure that's what he's doing. Spring workouts into summer workouts into the fall workouts, and you're right back at it again.
Booth, shot fake. That's 3 coming. Drawing the foul on Eastern. And, you know, for this Villanova team, we went through all the talent they lost off the championship team of last year, and then it was rough going early. Blown out by Michigan. They lose to Furman. And, I mean, there was tweaking and shifting. And Jay Wright said throughout the season and throughout this weekend and talking with us of when you have so much talent for so long and 2 championships and all those things, it runs smoothly, and then you have to remind yourself that this is hard, and winning is hard, and getting to the NCAA tournament and winning, all of this is hard. And the Wildcats really pulled together after that slow start in November, closing out late. I mean, they had to come back to beat Marquette and sent them on that run at the end of the regular season to win the Big East regular season and tournament titles.
That stretch in February where they lost 4 out of 5 in conference play, and to turn it around and win the Big East tournament title is a terrific job by Jay Wright and his staff.
Harms, too easy again for Matt Harms in Purdue. 75.
Unofficially, I think I got him at 6 dunks.
Block shots, altered shots for Harms. Three in the corner for Pascal, the fifth-year senior.
Good D, better O.
Pascal, 19 points. Villanova trying to turn. Purdue over. Edwards somehow gets past Gillespie. 35 down for Carson Edwards.
I told you, he had a couple more buckets in him. I think he's got one more.
Booth on the wing. Eastern keeps on his feet this time. Now here's Phil Booth off the bounce. Whip it out to Samuels for a three. Timeout Villanova. Purdue and Carson Edwards behind 35 points. Getting ready to roll on to Louisville, the South Regional. Before, he was the Wizard of Westwood, the freak during his Purdue days. And I think Coach Wooden would be proud of the way these Boilermakers have played in this NCAA tournament, getting ready for the Sweet 16.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. 14 triples, 18 assists on 27 baskets.
You know, another of the nicknames was the Indiana Rubber Man for his dives on the court as well. So Coach Wooden earned quite a few. Now here's Carson Edwards hobbling a bit. So he comes out of the under 4 timeout, still in the game. And now Carson is drawing concern from mom and dad as he's hobbling. But staying in the game for now. Villanova's still fighting.
Oh, there's no question.
Booth. Another rebound for Harms. That's now 9 boards for Harms. 4 of them offensive to go along with 18 points. Eastern 10 to shoot. End of the corner. Eifert has a 3 for Purdue. My goodness, a shooting barrage.
Well, that's his first triple in his first attempt. And Grady Eifert considered the most efficient player on Purdue's roster.
15 threes in the game for Purdue. They average 10, best in the Big Ten. As Matt Painter says about Grady Eifert, he only shoots when he's open. So offensive efficiency from Grady Eifert, the senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
But Grady Eifert has 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and no turnovers. When you start talking about an efficient line, that's what you're talking about, Carter. Exactly to your point.
He started every game after just 2 in his first 3 years for the former walk-on turned into senior starter for the Boilermakers, closing in on the Sweet 16 again. Tracy Morgan and Tiffany Haddish are back in the TBS Original Series. The Last OG, premiering April 2nd only on TBS. 36, Carson Edwards, not done yet. 2:29 to go, still out there for the Boilermakers. Still springy, though, after he was hobbled a defensive trip ago. Samuels. Arms keeps it alive into the hands of Carson Edwards.
He tapped it to Carson Edwards. What an impressive display.
Edwards, another!
Now he can come out, Carter. What an impressive game by Carson Edwards.
40 on 9 made threes. 16 triples in the game for Purdue. And now Purdue begins to celebrate. They'll be moving on again to the second weekend in the NCAA tournament. Into the hands of Gillespie for Villanova, going right down to the end. Swider misses. Haskell, the fifth-year senior, going to kick it out. Swider tries it again and hits it. Jay Wright coaching it all the way to the end. Evan Boudreaux waiting to sub in for Purdue at the table if there's another break. Into the hands of Carson Edwards. That's a blocking foul. Edwards going to go back to the line. Most points a player has scored on Villanova this season, 40 from Carson Edwards.
He does such a great job with his separation. Look at his footwork. He drives Phil Booth inside the three-point line and then pulls it back.
26 points on 23 shots on Thursday. 40 points on 21 shots today for Carson Edwards. Eifert subs out. Klein subs out. The seniors will play again on the second weekend in the Sweet 16. For Villanova, the foul is on Samuels. He's fouled out. Haskell and Booth check out. And the Villanova family has a lot to be thankful for the careers of Phil Booth and Eric Paschal.
Two great competitors, and their legacy will be about 2 national championships and all the Big East titles they won in the regular season and in the tournament. You hear the crowd calling for Luce. That would be Tommy Luce, who's getting ready to check in for Carson Edwards.
A career-high 42 points for Carson Edwards to lead Purdue into a sweet second weekend of the NCAA tournament. Block foul called in the last 48.5 of Villanova's season. It settles in. Villanova's not going to be cutting down any nets at the end of this NCAA tournament.
42 points. Carson Edwards. Impressive. See it start to trickle in. This is it for those seniors for Villanova, and you can see the emotion on Paschal, excuse me.
Swider hits the free throw in 48.5. So for Villanova, after 7 straight NCAA tournament wins, and Phil Booth had 13 straight in the tournament, this will be his first NCAA tournament loss. Boudreaux has it taken away. Phil Primo into the corner. Slater misses the three into the hands of Hunter, and Purdue dominant early. 42 from Carson Edwards, but the Boilermakers, all of them on both ends, take the fight to the Villanova Wildcats. Closing in on zeros on the clock. And a third straight Sweet 16 for Matt Painter's Purdue Boilermakers. There will be a new national champion in 2019. And Purdue has already had a big say. So it's Purdue on to Louisville, Kentucky to face the winner of Iowa and Tennessee and the South Regional. Tune in to TBS now for Auburn versus Kansas. For Debbie Antonelli, John Shrippen, our entire hard-working crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. Good night from Hartford. We'll send you to our studio after these messages.